I've created a tier list of all 55 platinum trophies I've got in the past 10 years. And I'm going to be ranking them from what I think is the easiest to the hardest. I've got 5 different tiers. Insanely hard, hard, medium, easy, and I wish I didn't get it. If you have the same platinum trophies as me, let me know where you put them in the comments below. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so hopefully we can get it done. So here we go. The first platinum trophy we actually got was Infamous First Light. Overall, you pretty much just had to 100% the game. I did play it on a harder difficulty, so it was a little challenging, but apart from that, I'm just going to stick it with easy. The next game is Minecraft. Now, this wasn't actually too bad to get. It was a little bit of a grind. But yeah, if you don't have any friends like me, the multiplayer trophies can be really hard, which there's only one, which is just giving a friend a diamond. But luckily I had 2 controllers at the time, so definitely would have been insanely hard if I didn't have any friends. Because I had that second controller, I came in clutch, so it's going in easy. Next up, we got Ratchet & Clank. Pretty easy overall, especially when you got the Map-O-Matic, and it pretty much showed you where everything was. Again, another really solid game, a game I really enjoyed. So yeah, I'm just chucking it straight and easy straight away. Next up, we got Rocket League. Man, this game introduced me to depression, man, because we used to do Thursday night leagues and we used to lose all the time. It was a nightmare. But as a platinum, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Probably the harder one out of the 3 on there at the moment. So I think over there should be right. But I think I might actually move Ratchet & Clank over here. So yeah, before we get any further, so like First Light is the easiest platinum at the moment that I've got. And then Rocket League is technically the hardest one I've got. But don't worry, not all my games are going to be on easy, because the next one we played was Wolfenstein: The New Order. And boy, this game was ridiculous. I'm sure there's guides out there that make your life easier, but I just did what I did, played on the hardest difficulty for the trophies, and I struggled so much. So it's actually going to go in insanely hard. The next platinum trophy we got was Infamous Second Son. This was definitely a lot harder to get platinum than Infamous First Light. The story was a bit longer, and it did have a difficulty-related trophy. So I'm going to have to put it in medium, actually. The hardest difficulty was a little challenging. Next up, we got Watch Dogs. I don't know if you guys remember how bad the driving was in this game. Like, the mechanics for it was just dog shit. Hence why it probably has dog in the title. But yeah, anyway, it did take quite a while to get the platinum. It was a very grindy game. So I'm going to have to put it in medium just because of the driving alone. So the next game we got platinum was the second Watch Dogs. The driving was insane in this. Like, it was so much more better. They must have really done something about it. There were a lot of multiplayer trophies, but I'm pretty sure I got this game as soon as the game actually came out. So the multiplayer trophies weren't too bad. I'm gonna put on the top of easy, I think. The next game was Color Guardians. This was just one of the free games you get every month through PlayStation Plus. Pretty straightforward game. It was actually quite fun, not gonna lie, but it was actually very easy, so it's gonna go at the bottom of easy. The next platinum trophy we got was Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I don't know why, but I struggled so much to get this platinum trophy. It took me way too long to get. I don't know why. I think it was just the collectibles were just bugging out on me. I'm not too sure, but it's gonna be the first game we're gonna put in the hard tier just because of how long it took me. Next up, we've got Plants vs. Zombies: Garden Warfare 2. I think this was actually a free game on the PlayStation Store. I could be wrong, but dude, this game was actually insanely fun. It was a little bit of a grind. There was a trophy where you'd have to log in, I think 5 days in a row or something. It was pretty easy, so I'm gonna put it, I think, I reckon around there. Next up, I got Horizon Zero Dawn. This was my first open world game I've ever played. A lot of you probably would put it in easy. I struggle with open world games. I haven't really been a fan of them. They're starting to grow on me now, but it's gonna go in medium. It's gonna go on the bottom of medium, but overall it was a 10 out of 10 game. The next game is Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. Because I got so used to the New Order and the hardest difficulty, this game wasn't too bad. So it's going to go on the hard difficulty, but it obviously still was really difficult. Next up, I got Killing Floor 2. This game's kind of like Call of Duty Zombies. It did have a couple of difficulty-related trophies from memory. I do remember it did take quite a while to get, so I'm going to put it in medium. It wasn't hard, it wasn't easy. It was kind of a pretty balanced platinum trophy. Next up, I got Dying Light. This is like a zombie apocalypse game. It was actually really fun. I played it with a mate, so he made it a lot easier for me. I will be putting it... It was a bit of a grind, so I'm going to probably just leave it behind Watch Dogs 2, I reckon. The next 3 platinum trophies we got are the 3 Crash trilogies. First Crash, absolute. It was ridiculous. Like, that game made me scream. Like, I lost my voice because of this game, because of how just... it is stupid. It's going in insanely hard straight up. Same thing with Crash 2. I don't know what it was with these 2 games, but they were just ridiculous. Like, either I was just bad at the game or not, I don't know, but it doesn't really explain Crash 3. Because Crash 3 was actually quite easy. It was still challenging, but like, I wasn't dying as much, and it was just a bit of a grind. So I'm actually going to put it probably below, I'll put it over Infamous Second Son, I reckon. Man, why did I choose to film when there's a thunderstorm? The next platinum trophy we got was Mafia 3, and honestly, I could make a whole video talking about this game's platinum, but it was just a nightmare. The trophies wouldn't pop even though you did what it asked. You pretty much just had to play through the whole entire game in one sitting for those trophies to pop. I didn't know it at the time, I just got it by luck, but yeah, it's just going insanely hard straight up because it took forever to get. Next up, we got South Park: The Stick of Truth. I actually got this game for free by buying the Fractured But Whole game, but I never actually played it, so I decided to play this one first, but then yeah, never played the second one. It was pretty challenging. I did play it on a harder difficulty, so it's gonna go on medium actually, just on the bottom of it. If you guys are interested in seeing me platinum the sequels of games that aren't on this list, let me know in the comments below and I'll try and get it done. But make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Next up is Jak and Daxter. I actually never played this as a kid, so I really enjoyed playing it for the first time. The platinum trophy was pretty easy. Getting the precursor orbs was actually a little bit of a grind, but overall was very easy. I'm gonna put it under Ratchet and Clank, I reckon. Next up, I got Need for Speed. This game was actually insanely easy. You just had to like max out your rep. Just a car racing game, no difficulties. It's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna actually put it just above Color Guardians. Next up was Jak 2. This game was actually a little bit difficult because of how different it was. I wasn't expecting to be thrown under the bus with how the gameplay was. Getting all the collectibles again was a massive grind, but we got there in the end. But yeah, it's gonna go on the bottom of medium. Next up is Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. This game was so good. It was very difficult though. Playing on veteran, it was not easy. I actually struggled a lot, especially when like there was just certain parts in the game where just enemies would just throw 100,000 grenades at you. It was ridiculous. I got there in the end, but it's gonna go in the bottom of hard. Next up, we've got Marvel's Spider-Man. This game was 10 out of 10. I loved it. It was great. I did play it on a harder difficulty, so I'm gonna put it in medium. If I had played it on like the easiest difficulty, it definitely would have been on like bottom of easy. But because I wanted to give myself a bit of a challenge, yeah, I struggled at some bits, but you know, it was good overall. Next up, we've got a couple of games that are my favorite as a child. We've got Spyro 1. This game was just the most fun I've had in so long. I used to play it on the PS1 like all the time. Spyro 1, very easy. It's probably even going to be below Color Guardians, to be honest, because Color Guardians still was a little challenging, but you know, same with Spyro 2. It's going to go in the bottom of easy as well. Next up, we've got Conan Exiles. I actually feel bad as if you got the Platinum Trophy legitly, because all you pretty much had to do was go in like creative mode and just spawn everything in and kill everything. And for that, I literally got the platinum trophy in 4 minutes. My mate told me, hey, get on, I'll get you a platinum trophy. I did it. Do I regret it? Yes. And that is why it's our first wish I did not get. Next up, we got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This game actually had a realistic difficulty, which was harder than veteran, but you only needed to play on veteran for the platinum trophy. And I think that's why it made it a little bit easy to get. Still was very difficult, but it's definitely not hard. I'm just gonna put it on the top of medium. I think that's where it belongs. The next platinum trophy we got was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Honestly, this game was amazing, but the platinum trophy itself was just stinky. I don't know, I was just really disappointed in the trophy list, to be honest with you. I felt like it could have been a lot more challenging because there was so much more to do in the game, like maxing out all your guns, just doing all that stuff. But to get the platinum trophy so early, I didn't really want to play the game anymore because I technically had done everything. So for that reason, I'm actually going to put it on a wish I didn't get. I can't justify putting it in easy, unfortunately. It was not challenging whatsoever. I did not struggle with not one trophy. Next up, we got Astro's Playroom. This was already installed on the PS5. I think they only did that to flex on their controller. The game was a 10 out of 10. It was so fun. I wasn't expecting it to be so good. But as for a platinum trophy, it was pretty easy. The puzzles were actually a little bit challenging. So yeah, I'm going to put it in easy. Next up, we've got Tricky Towers. Man, if you guys don't know what this game is, it's kind of like a high IQ, like Tetris, I guess. The blocks actually fall down, you lose lives and all that stuff. This game was actually the hardest game I've ever played in my life for a platinum trophy. It was so fun to play with mates, but man, this is going straight on insanely hard. If you have this platinum trophy, you know how difficult this game is to get platinum. Yeah, if you don't believe me, give it a go. Honestly, it took me forever. I think it took me several months to get the platinum for it. Next up, we got Spyro 3. It's just gonna go 1, 2, and 3, I reckon. I think that makes sense. But yeah, all three of them were insanely easy. Next up, we got Lego's Harry Potter years 1 to 4. Honestly, this game straight up insanely hard. I'm putting it there. It took me that long to get all the collectibles. I don't know if it was glitchy or just a player problem. I don't know if it was just me being stupid. But like, this game took me like probably 20 or 30 hours to get the collectibles. And the thing is, I didn't actually even play the story. Someone else played it for me on my account. I just had to get the collectibles for the platinum trophy. So, I don't know, it might be a surprise, but like, I can't not put it anywhere else because those collectibles were an absolute nightmare. Next up, we got Marvel Spider-Man Remastered. Pretty much, I wanted to play the DLC and logged into my account and the platinum trophy popped. So for that reason, it's going on a wish I didn't get. If you guys don't believe me and you just think I got it for a quick platinum trophy, here's me getting all the trophies for the DLCs. But yes, I know what I was doing. I knew the platinum trophy was going to pop all along. Next up, we've got the original Ratchet & Clank. I hooked up the PS3 to play this one, and it was really good. The controls probably put it in hard tier, not going to lie, but because you couldn't strafe or anything when killing enemies. Overall, it was medium. You had to get all the skill points, all the bolts. So yeah, it was challenging. A lot more challenging than this one. Next up, we got Spider-Man Miles Morales. This game was kind of like a DLC, I guess, for the original Spider-Man. It was kind of a short game. It was pretty easy. I did play it on a harder difficulty as well, so I'm gonna put it above Rocket League, I reckon. Next up, we got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. This game was actually really hard to get the platinum trophy for because you had to complete the whole game on veteran difficulty, but then you also had to play it again and not die in any of the missions. Yes, you could do it on the easiest difficulty, but it was still a grind to do regardless. The trophy list was actually really good, but it was very hard, so I'm gonna put it above the first Call of Duty Remastered. Next up is Jak 3. I'm actually not proud of this, but you could go into developer mode and pretty much get all the trophies. So yeah, it's going in wish I didn't get. It's actually going in the bottom of wish I didn't get because I probably should have played it, but because I didn't really enjoy the second one, I just wanted to get all three of them platinum trophies. So say whatever you want, but at least I'm admitting to it, you know. Next up, I got One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. I did play it on the second hardest difficulty, so it was a little bit of a challenge. I still managed to do pretty well in it. I've been trying to get the third one platinum till this day. I'm never going to get it, but you know, we won't talk about that. Platinum trophy wise, yeah, I'll put it above Ratchet & Clank for medium, I reckon. Next up, we've got Ratchet & Clank Going Commando. So this is the second installment of the Ratchet & Clank trilogy. Because you could strafe on this game and shooting and killing enemies was a lot more easier, it's going in the easy list. Probably going to go above Rocket League. Getting the titanium bolts, I think it was in this game, and also the skill points was still a little bit of a challenge, but we got there. Our next platinum brings us to the third and final installment of the trilogy, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. I'm not too sure why they have such sus names for their games. It's gonna go below the second Ratchet & Clank. This is my favorite Ratchet & Clank out of the three, so I enjoyed it a lot more, so it was a little bit more easier. Next up, we have my favorite Ratchet & Clank game of all time, Ratchet Gladiator, or for you guys overseas, you might know it as Ratchet Deadlock, but because I'm from Australia, Ratchet Gladiator for me. This game was insane. It was glitchy as, I don't remember it being so glitchy, so it was a little bit harder, so I'm gonna put it on medium, but I'm gonna put it below the first Ratchet & Clank because the strafing and all that was a lot easier. Next up, we got Marvel Spider-Man 2. I played it on the same difficulty as the first Spider-Man and Miles Morales, but because I had the experience from Miles Morales, it was a little easier than the first one, so it's going below it. Next up, we got Uncharted Drake's Fortune. This game was that difficult to play on the hardest difficulty. I struggled a lot, so for that reason, it's going on the top of hard straight up. Next up, we've got Mafia 2, the definitive edition. Made a video on it. You guys saw how much I struggled on this game. It was an absolute nightmare on the hardest difficulty. I do not want to do it again. It was definitely a lot harder than Wolfenstein. I just really struggled with the game, so it's going above Wolfenstein, but nothing's going past Crash 2, Crash 1, or Tricky Towers at this point. Next up, we got Horizon Forbidden West. This game was pretty straightforward. I didn't enjoy it as much. I think it will go behind Stick of Truth. The open world game still challenged me a little bit. Next up, we've got Mafia 1, the definitive edition. This was just as hard as the second one, but because it was a newer game, it was more smoother. It's not going to go in insanely hard, but it's going to go on top of the hard tier list, I reckon. Next up, we got The Last of Us Part 1. This game was actually easy to get platinum. There was no difficulty related trophies, which probably could have put it in Wish I didn't get because the other installments had them. But because you had to play the DLC and it was quite fun, and I did play it on a little bit of a harder difficulty, I'm actually going to put it above the Ratchet and Clank games here. Next up, we've got Daxter. This game was actually really fun to play. I actually really enjoyed it. It was easy to get, so I'm going to put it above Astro's Playroom. Next up, we have Sly Cooper 1, Thievius Raccoonus. This game was actually a bit of a grind to get all the bottles for, but it was pretty easy, especially like if I did struggle, I just looked up a guide, so it wasn't too bad. So yeah, it's going to go in easy. It's going to go above Need for Speed. It was a little bit challenging, but it wasn't too bad. Next up was Sly 2, Band of Thieves. This game was pretty much the same as the first one. It was a little bit easier. I enjoyed it a lot more. You didn't have to collect all the bottles, which was great. But yeah, overall it was a pretty solid game. But again, it's going in easy. Next up, we have Ratchet and Clank Size Matters. I made this game a little more difficult to get the platinum trophy for because I went for all the skill points instead of doing it another way to get a trophy. So for that reason, I'm going to put it above Miles Morales. I think it fits nicely there. Next up, we've got Astrobot. This game was phenomenal, a 10 out of 10, but the Platinum Trophy was pretty easy. It was a little bit challenging getting all the collectibles and stuff, a little bit of a grind, but I think it belongs right above the Ratchet and Clank game. And this leaves us with our last Platinum Trophy, God of War. This game just reminded me how bad it was at open world games. Like, it took me 2 hours to defeat the Valkyrie Queen, and I played it on the easiest difficulty. So it would definitely be insanely hard if I did play it on the hardest difficulty, but it's gonna go at the top of hard tier instead, because that Valkyrie Queen just ruined the game for me. Still a 10 out of 10 game though. Well, there we have it, guys. This is my tier list for all 55 games I've got the Platinum Trophy for. Let me know what you guys think about the list. I'm pretty happy with it, to be quite honest with you. I know there are a few ones where people might have them elsewhere, but it's just how I experience the games. So, yeah, I hope you guys can respect my decision of where I've put everything. But yeah, I'd really like to know what you guys' thoughts are. But yeah, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.